Hello, it's Debbie Gilbert from the Business Awards show, and I'm also the founder of the Best Businesswomen Awards. And today I'm delighted to be joined by Frankie Gray, founder of Harmony at Home, which is a recruitment agency for nannies and for household recruitment. And she was also franchised her business, and she has 16 franchises. That's amazing. So she's going to talk about her business journey, what made her franchise her business, and share some real nice insights into her world of this niche area of recruitment, and tell us a bit about her business journey and hopefully some tips along the way. So welcome, Frankie.
Oh, thank you, Debbie. I'm so honoured and a little nervous to be here.
Oh, well, it's lovely to welcome you because the last time we met was in September of 2023 when you got a silver award for Best Boss. That's amazing.
Absolutely.
Nominated by your staff.
Yeah, it was a bit of a surprise.
Yeah.
I was absolutely thrilled that
Oh.
they wanted to do that. That was brilliant. So yes, delighted.
I always think they're lovely awards to have, and we'll talk a bit more later about some of your other awards, but there's nothing nicer, is there, than being nominated by your team.
Absolutely. And it's really great that you've created an award where team players can do that, because as a boss, you obviously look after your team, you mentor them, you award them, but it's very rare to be able to be recognized as a boss.
Fantastic. So, Frankie, take me back to the beginning. So you set this business up a long time ago, 20 years ago. So talk me through this journey and what made you set it up in the first place?
Oh gosh, frustration. It's probably the case for most business founders, and female founders especially. I'm now very familiar with this story from other founders who are female, but it's always born out of a frustration, I believe. When you can't find what you're looking for, or when you're frustrated that it doesn't exist and you know you can do it better yourself. So I created my agency as it is now out of that frustration. I used to work as a Northern nanny, traveling the world, helping clients with their beautiful babies, supporting them, nurturing them. And I found that I just couldn't reach out to enough people quickly enough. And so it was really important to me to grow a team. And that's how the agency was born. Yeah.
So you don't just do recruitment though, do you? There's another arm to your business, which I thought was quite interesting. Do share a bit about that.
Oh, okay. So we have our maternity consultancy, which is a franchisee, a lovely lady called Georgina, who also trained at the Northern College, which is where I graduated. And she provides specialism of maternity care to her clients across the UK, looking after anything from maternity nursing to sleep training to consultancy, anything that parents might need with a very young baby, perhaps, or a toddler needing that extra support, extra specialized support to really help them have a very positive, fulfilled journey as a parent.
Yeah, because it is tough. I mean, it is tougher than it's ever been, I think, because we don't live in these extended family groups anymore where mums and aunties can help us. We're often stranded on our own with a baby and not really knowing who to turn to for help. So it's fantastic that you offer that service.
Yeah. And then I have 15 other franchisees who offer the recruitment services to families across the UK, all regionally based. So any kind of nanny, household staff requirement, and it facilitates a lot of working parents to get back to work. That realization that there is a flexible childcare solution out there, and a lot of our recruiters now recruit a sort of hybrid role where the nanny may be a nanny housekeeper, or a nanny PA, or even like a nanny tutor. Children in the home setting, and it provides a much more flexible and sometimes much more financially viable option to parents that have more than 2 children. So it's a really niche area to work in.
So obviously you set this business up based on your own knowledge and expertise and seeing that need, and then sort of progressing it onto a franchise, being a franchisor is a whole host of other things that you have to consider. So what was your thought process behind that, and what have been the challenges that you faced?
To be honest, when I first started franchising, it was more about growing the brand and getting out there to as many people as possible. So, because I was really passionate about delivering our services to as many people as possible. But what I then very quickly realized that the actual franchising model itself provided my franchisees with a unique opportunity to have flexible working themselves. And for a lot of our franchisees and people that have joined me on this journey, the solutions that we provide as an employer, as a franchisor, offer them a solution to their work-life balance that they wouldn't ordinarily have had in the sort of traditional 9-to-5 corporate setting. So some of our franchisees are nannies or ex-nannies, and some of them are from a corporate background and have quite varied experiences themselves. And so, yeah, just great that they can run their own business in their own time, to their own agenda. And it's really, very profitable as well. It's a fantastic business model to have a recruitment agency. So absolutely, that was really the founding blocks of the franchise, was all about making sure that we offered our services to as many people as possible. And then moving on from that, it was all about making sure that we offered a business opportunity to people that wanted to have sort of family-friendly, flexible business.
And how do you look after your franchisees and retain them? Because that is quite a challenge sometimes for franchisors, isn't it?
Yeah, I've been very blessed. I've had some amazing franchisees work with me. I have one lady that's been with me now for 10 years, is celebrating.
Wow.
I know. She also happens to be one of our top performing franchisees, and she has pages of fantastic 5-star Google reviews as well. So we're really, really blessed with some amazing franchisees. There's too many to mention, but they are all wonderful people, and retention for us is all about offering support and training, but also mentoring. So having been doing this for a bit, I feel like I've been around the block. 20 years is a long time, hey? I've made a lot of mistakes, Debbie. I've made an awful lot of mistakes, and it's by being very honest about those mistakes, sort of owning up to them, but learning from them and sharing those experiences with our franchisees. That's how. So, I mean, as a franchisor, we run our own team as well from HQ. So we have a team of recruiters. So we try anything that's new, we try it out first on ourselves before we push it out to our franchisees. So they know that anything that we tell them to do is tried and tested. It's of a very good quality, but equally, it's going to be profitable.
Yeah, I'm getting a real sense of support from you, and I'm getting a real sense that they're kind of part of your Harmony at Home family. It really comes across like that.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm really passionate about franchising as well. I think it is a very, very good way to get into entrepreneurship and to own a business that's profitable, because it's tried and tested. So it's very important. I'm very passionate about that. I'm a member of the BFA, member of EWIF, but I'm also a mummy of three children. And my eldest, now bless him, he does a little bit of work for me in my company. And my middle boy also does a bit of work. He does some photography for me as well. So I'm really blessed with everything that's come from doing this. So it was a happy journey, very happy journey.
So anyone who's thinking of franchising their business and they're listening to this, what would you say would be the top things to consider? Go and talk to the BFA and EWIF? Would that be one of the top things?
Absolutely. So the BFA run, I think, quarterly learn about franchising sessions. I think it's 50 quid, and you get to attend a whole day's learning. You hear from experts, all the pitfalls, do's and don'ts. Absolutely brilliant. EWIF as well, encouraging women into franchising. They run regional events, but they also just follow them on social media. They've got some great top tips, but equally you'll find that that's where all the best brands hang out. So the members of the association, of the British Franchise Association, any member of the British Franchise Association has been very, very stringently checked. I mean, it was a lot of hoops to jump through to become a member. I kid you not. But equally, it's really important that you are aware that that it's not a golden ticket. Buying a franchise is not some sort of get rich quick scheme.
No.
A lot of hard work. So my other top tip for anybody thinking about buying a franchise and becoming an entrepreneur in your own business is to understand that there is a lot of graft. You do have to put in a lot of effort in the beginning, and it's as you grow that you then really do reap the rewards of having that flexible lifestyle.
Yeah, exactly. And it is like learning from what you've gone through yourself. That's the expertise that you're passing on to people, isn't it? Coupled with the brand, coupled with the procedures. But it's not a, like you said, a get rich quick scheme where you're just picking something up and it's all going to happen. It's only going to happen if you put the work in.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it's about really understanding that the franchisor has done all of this. And so
Yeah.
what they say might actually be the right recipe to follow.
Yeah, exactly. So let's talk a bit about awards, because I can see a lovely certificate hanging on your wall behind you. So what role have awards played in the growth of Harmony at Home?
Well, it was really important to me to only enter us into awards that were legitimate. I mean, as I'm sure you know, there's a lot of awards out there nowadays that are sort of marketing coups. Rolling eye moment there. I mean, like for example, your award is fantastic, and it's, you know, my team, bless them, they spend a lot of time hand picking, cherry picking awards that are ethical and that do sort of sit very highly regarded, that are, you know, judged by a
Properly,
team
yeah.
of experts, you know, and there's no sort of paid for team, you know, that are paying to be award. That's the other thing I recently discovered. I was asked to, I just randomly had an email that came through that asked me to pay to be a judge. I mean, absolutely crazy.
I
So
know, I've seen those myself.
so it's really important to me to know that any award that we enter is reputable. So we entered the BFA, which is the certificate that you can see behind me with finalists.
Yeah.
In the lifestyle category for franchising. And I think 3 years now we've been selected as winners of the Elite Franchise Top 100.
Oh, that's good.
Which is all about franchising. So that's obviously really important that we are recognised as a technical franchisor as well, not just by the BFA, but by Elite Franchise. We've also been finalists 2 years running for the REC Awards, which is the Employment Confederation. I'm dropping everybody in here.
Yeah, that's great. No, the REC Awards are very highly regarded.
Very prestigious. I mean, the REC, obviously, we're corporate members of the REC, and even just to be a corporate member of the REC, you have to pass a test, which is a very hard test, a compliance test you have to pass and sit. I achieved 100% in that, which is no mean feat. I'm dyslexic. And so that for me was quite a big achievement. And it's really important, I think, as a small business to get yourself recognized. It's social proof, but equally it makes you feel more confident about what you're offering. So yeah, absolutely, I highly recommend entering ethical awards such as yourselves at the Best Businesswomen Awards.
Oh, thank you. So let's talk about this Best Boss Award that you won. Okay, so what do you think makes a great boss?
Oh my goodness me.
Dropped you in it there a little bit.
Start with team. I mean, that's a bit passe, really, isn't it? But I think it's all about making sure that you, as a boss, you've hired the right team in the first place, and then giving them autonomy, letting them come to you with ideas and letting them tell you what to do. That's really important. Otherwise, you know, hey, what's the point?
Yeah.
Just do it yourself. So that's my top tip for being a happy boss. I mean, for me, becoming a boss wasn't a chosen path, and I was always told at school that I was the born leader and all that, you know, and you don't necessarily believe it. And when I went to Norlands and I did my Norland qualification and I became a Norland nanny and I started working for all these families, I was my own boss, you know. I had to be accountable to myself. So a lot of the skills that I've had to learn as a boss have been taught through watching podcasts, listening to people like Stephen Bartlett, you know, Priestley, etc. It's really important to grow your knowledge and to understand, you know, foundations of leadership. But equally, it's also really important to pick the right team, to have a really good team that support you, and then to allow them to have that autonomy to run their own day. And so all of my team have the flexibility to work from home, to their own agenda. They're not micromanaged at all. It's very topsy-turvy. It's like the complete opposite of what you'd expect to see in a recruitment business. You know, usually they're in an office. with computer screens with targets flashing up in front of them. So
but they don't need to be, do they, given what you do? And it does mean that they can maintain a work-life balance, doesn't it?
Absolutely. So, I can call up one of my lovely team members and I might catch them at the swimming pool, a swimming it's a bit of a running joke, where are you today? It doesn't matter. And equally, they don't have to ask if they need to go and run an errand or if they want to pop to the gym, for a couple of hours in the middle of the day. Because gym membership's cheaper, isn't it, between 9 and 3?
Of course, absolutely.
It doesn't matter to me what they do when they do it. I trust implicitly that they are going to get the job done, that they're going to grow our brand, that they are advocates of our brand. And I think that's really important. If you can somehow or other as a boss grasp onto that concept and live it, your team will grow you, which is really important.
That's a really good piece of advice, actually. If you're listening to this podcast, listen to that piece of advice that Frankie's just shared, because it is so important. I'm a great believer in the same things as you, really. I think, you have to empower people to make their own decisions, deal with their own workload their way, and not kind of enforce some systems onto people, because it doesn't work in the long run. You just end up with very unhappy staff, don't you?
Yeah, and it's kind of the same with the franchising as well. Yes, of course, there's a recipe that everybody must follow. Everybody follows it in their own way, on their own time, to their own agenda. We give them all the tools and it's up to them to dip in and out. And we're very keen to ensure that our franchisees are self-supporting, so they know exactly where to go and how to access any support that they need or training that they need. So that's really also very important. I think as a company, as a growing company, it's very important that you've really set that out.
I mean, hiring nannies and housekeeping staff is actually quite technical, isn't it, at the end of the day? Because people have to be vetted properly, don't they?
Yes, absolutely. And unfortunately, nannies aren't currently required to be registered, which does make our...
I didn't know that. That's interesting. Okay.
There is a register. They can register with Ofsted if they want to, but it's voluntary. It's known as the Voluntary Ofsted Childcare Register, which makes it even more important. And I'm even more passionate that everything is done properly. And I'm a great advocate for speaking out about this, Debbie. I can go on about this for another half an hour. But in a nutshell, I've been lobbying now for about 15 years to get nannies registered, but equally to get the powers that be, members of parliament, to understand how important it is that the industry, the nanny industry, is recognised as a professional industry, that nannies are recognised as professionals. That's also really important to me, because currently they're not really.
Oh, is it not regulated?
No.
I didn't know that. I assumed it was very heavily regulated in light of some of the big high-profile cases we've had in recent years. It's not regulated.
Anybody can call themselves a nanny.
So they don't need a Norland or an NAB qualification or a level.
Anybody can call themselves a nanny.
Wow, I didn't realise that.
I strongly recommend using a nanny agency.
Yeah.
Really one that is registered with the RAC, the Recruitment Federation, so that they know all the checks. So there are statutory checks that an accredited or an agency that does everything properly will know to do. So there's statutory checks under the EAS, which is the Employment Agency Standards Inspectorate, that you do have to do before presenting a candidate to a client. And if for any reason you haven't got the right information about that candidate, you need to tell your client what you've done to try to find it and what you haven't got, so that they can make an informed decision as to whether or not to hire the person.
Yeah. Because, I mean, you are leaving your most precious asset in the world in somebody else's hands.
Absolutely. It's absolutely crazy. So I'm very passionate about that as well. And that's one of the other reasons that Harmony at Home is very special. Because it's very much a safe haven for parents. They know that, to the best of our possible knowledge, we've done everything properly that we possibly can.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? Is to do everything you possibly can do. And it's the same with housekeepers, isn't it? You're entrusting these people with keys to your house, to private documents and all of your chattels in your life, basically. So that's so important, isn't it, to have them properly checked out?
And again, with the exception of security staff, general domestic household staff, there's no regulations.
I didn't know that. I really didn't know that. Oh, that's very interesting. Goodness me. Makes your sort of business even more so valuable in the marketplace, really, you know, given the checks that you do. So you've got to 16 franchisees. Is there plans to expand this anymore?
Well, we had our whole, so the whole of the UK was mapped by a specialist mapping software company that we found through the BFA. And we've been working with them now for 3 years, and they've been very, very helpful at showing us how to map out areas of the UK so that they're fair, so that everybody has the same patch. And it's about demographics, really, isn't it? You know, it's going to be more ideal clients in one region than there are in others, so the regions need to be slightly different sizes. So we've had it mapped out, and there's 25 areas available. We're at 63%. My maths
That's brilliant.
I did work it out before the call.
So actually, you know, you're looking at what, another 8 to 10 franchisees. That's it, really, and that will give you the whole of the UK covered, which would be amazing.
That's correct, yes.
And what do you do for franchisee recruitment then? Do you go to sort of specialised events for this, or is it all online, or a bit of both?
Most of our franchisees come through word of mouth.
Oh, wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, we're very lucky in that people like to speak very highly of our network and the experience that they've had. Some of our franchisees may have experienced the service themselves. So they may have been a nanny on our books. They may have been in our as a parent. So so I'm working from home this morning. So that's
hello.
So it's really important that all of our franchisees know that they can spread the word, and we do advocate that they do that, because it's, you know, it's obviously very important to us that we are all very much like-minded people that have the same vision and standards.
And I think that's so important, because franchisee recruitment has to play a part in going through who are the right people. It's not just someone with a checkbook, because often that's where franchisors fall down, is that they'll sell a franchise to anybody and they're not the right people for your brand. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's going to happen, isn't it? You know, it's not going to be for everybody. It's a bit like a job in a way, isn't it? You know, sometimes it just doesn't work out. But it might be for other reasons. It doesn't necessarily come down to fit. It can be because you know, things have changed in their personal life. You know, people's partners change, jobs for partners change, financial circumstances change. You know, life can get in the way. So we're very much, you know, of thinking that it's important to support our franchisees as best we can in their journey, but equally, it's not something that we really write home about.
No, exactly. So what's on the cards for you over the next kind of year or so? What's the plans going forwards for Harmony at Home?
Oh, we're going to be celebrating our 20 years of trading.
Oh, that's amazing.
I know, we're going up to London. We've got a couple of days in Westminster. We've hired a fantastic conference venue in Westminster, which is all very exciting. And because our head office is actually based in Sussex, so it's really good to get up into town. And we'll be celebrating. We'll probably have dinner, have our annual awards and our conference where we celebrate with some speakers. We've got some fantastic speakers coming to train our franchisees externally, which is really good. And then it's just a fun-filled year. We've got there's lots of lovely events that the BFA are hosting, EWIF are hosting, and the REC are hosting. So we'll be at all of those, and I'm sure we'll also be supporting you, Debbie, with your wonderful awards that you host as well.
So you run your own in-house awards for your own franchises. That's great. What a great idea. So what sort of awards do you give out? Is it based on performance and customer service and all that sort of thing?
innovation, everything, all the different types that you could possibly imagine. We like to celebrate everybody's successes. It doesn't have to be necessarily target based.
No.
Media, present, anything like that. Really, it's very important to us to celebrate and recognize everybody's achievements. We also recognize ability to keep to standards. So we audit all of our franchisees once a year. They absolutely hate it.
Of course.
And they have to complete basically an exam, which takes about an hour. And then we also look at their processes and make sure that they are doing everything as we would want them to be, as our clients would want them to do everything. And as we say, we do everything as well.
That keeps your standards high, doesn't it, Frankie? I mean, that's really what you're about, is high standards.
Absolutely. And that's rated. So there'll be somebody that gets a certificate that got the highest grade, highest percentage. But yeah, absolutely. We have obviously, best franchise award. We have a customer service award that currently is an award that I'm very passionate about. I mean, that's really very much entwined in our vision and our mission. Is all about customer service. Right feedback from our customers. So yeah.
Amazing. So what we like to finish on is a couple of business tips. And I mean, 20 years is an incredible amount of time to be in business. And I mean, I'm sure you could spend an hour sharing all your tips, but have you got a couple of little tips that you could share that really have got you through the past 20 years?
I think, bearing in mind that I've come to this recording as the Best Boss Award, I'd like to give boss tips, if that's okay.
Yeah.
So I think my first tip will be, if you're a boss and you're watching this and you're listening to this and you want my tip, it's to embrace parents.
Yeah.
And to try to acknowledge and accept that parents are fantastic. They bring a variety of skills to the table that perhaps people that aren't parents don't, and to really embrace that and to encourage parents to work for you and to offer them the support and the flexibility that they need to thrive, because they will thrive, and it's through their gratitude for the opportunity that's where you'll see your growth.
So true.
And my second tip is to embrace change. So the biggest thing that I was told by my business mentor was to know what you want, or you won't get it yet.
Very true. Very true. Yeah.
Know the end game and then work back from there. And if you stick the word "yet" in it,
always helps.
You won't give yourself the heebie-jeebies about it. It won't feel reach.
Oh, do you know what? It's been lovely chatting to you today. I can see why you won Best Boss, and I can see why your business has been so successful. So well done you, and wish you continued success with it. And if you are listening to this today and you're looking for a nanny or household support or help with sleep problems, we will make sure that Frankie's details are in the show notes so you can contact her for more information. Good luck with your business, and we shall continue to watch your journey, because I'm sure, you're just going to keep going strength to strength, and you will sell the rest of those franchises and dominate the UK landscape for this industry. So well done you.
Oh, thank you, Debbie, and congratulations on building a fantastic awards business.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Take care. Thank you.